There are towns in Alsace that are like open invitations, their streets spilling out into the vineyards, their charms offered up with an easy and immediate grace. And then there is Bergheim. To approach Bergheim is to encounter something altogether different, something more ancient, more defined, and more resolute. It is to be confronted by a wall. Not a fragment, not a romantic ruin, but a complete, unbroken, and formidable double ring of medieval fortifications, a perfect circle of stone and history that holds the town in its stern, protective embrace. This is the only town on the Alsatian Wine Route to have so miraculously preserved its entire medieval enclosure. This wall is the key to understanding Bergheim's soul. For centuries, it was the town's armor, the source of its security and its pride. But walls do more than just keep enemies out. They create a world within. They can foster a sense of intense community, but they can also turn a town inward upon itself, creating a closed, insular environment where fears and superstitions can fester in the shadows. The story of Bergheim is a story of this profound duality. Today, its interior is a vision of almost overwhelming charm, a village fleury of the highest order, its half-timbered houses and ancient fountains draped in a breathtaking cascade of colorful flowers. Yet, this bright, beautiful present exists in a constant, quiet dialogue with a much darker, more complex, and often tragic past. To visit Bergheim is to explore this paradox, to walk the ramparts of a town that is both a fortress and a garden, a place of immense beauty that has also been a stage for immense human suffering. The first impression upon passing through the magnificent 14th century gate tower, the Oberdoor or Port Haut, is one of stepping into a perfectly preserved historical theme park. The streets are a harmonious composition of 15th to 17th century houses, their half-timbered facades painted in a rich palette of colors. Geraniums of an almost impossibly vibrant red spill from every window box. The streets are clean, the cobblestones are neat, and the entire village exudes an air of peaceful, well-tended prosperity. This modern beauty is a testament to the town's pride and its dedication to its heritage. It has been designated one of France's most beautiful floral villages, and this commitment to horticulture softens the severe lines of its medieval architecture, draping the ancient stone in a cloak of living color. The history of this place is a story of shifting allegiances, a common tale in the contested lands of Alsace. It began as a Roman settlement, and in the early Middle Ages, it rose to prominence as a fortified town. For centuries, unlike many of its neighbors who became free imperial cities, Bergheim was a possession of the great Habsburg dynasty of Austria. It was administered for them as a fief by the powerful local lords, the Ribeauvillé-Riquewihr family of nearby Ribeauvillé. This gave the town a different political character, its fortunes tied to the grand strategies of the Austrian Empire. The formidable double wall, with its 30 towers and its deep moat, now a lovely green promenade, was constructed in the 14th century, a reflection of the town's strategic importance and the constant need for defense in a war-torn region. The Port Haut, with its elegant proportions and its powerful defensive features, is one of the finest surviving examples of a medieval gate tower in all of Alsace. But the protection of these great walls could not save Bergheim from the internal fevers that swept across Europe in the 16th and 17th centuries. And it is here that we must look past the cheerful facade of flowers and colorful houses and into the shadows of the town's past. For Bergheim holds a dark and painful distinction. It was one of the major centers for the brutal and tragic witch trials that plagued Alsace. The European witch craze was a period of mass hysteria, a toxic confluence of religious turmoil, social anxiety, political instability, and deeply ingrained superstition. In a world beset by plagues, wars, and unexplained misfortunes, the belief in malevolent witchcraft offered a simple, terrible explanation. Scapegoats were needed, and they were most often found in the form of women, particularly those who were old, poor, widowed, or who simply lived on the margins of society. The enclosed, insular world of a fortified town like Bergheim, where everyone knew everyone else's business and where long-held grudges could fester, proved to be fertile ground for such accusations. Between 1582 and 1683, dozens of women and a few men were arrested in Bergheim on charges of witchcraft. They were imprisoned, interrogated, and almost invariably subjected to horrific torture to extract a confession. The records of these trials, some of which are preserved, make for grim reading. Accusations often stemmed from a neighbor's quarrel, the sudden death of livestock, or a failed harvest. Once accused, the victim was trapped in a legal and theological machine from which there was almost no escape. A confession, often given under unimaginable duress, was seen as proof of guilt, and the sentence was almost always death by burning at the stake. Today, Bergheim does not hide from this dark chapter of its past. In the heart of the town stands the Maison des Sorcières, the witch's house, or Haxahus. This is not a sensationalist haunted house-style attraction. It is a serious and thoughtful historical museum dedicated to explaining the phenomenon of the witch hunts in the region. Through historical documents, exhibits, and interpretive displays, the museum explores the social, religious, and psychological mechanisms that allowed these terrible events to happen. It is a sober and necessary place of remembrance, a reminder that the most formidable walls are not those made of stone, but those of fear and intolerance that can be built within the human mind. To visit the Haxahus is to add a profound and necessary layer of complexity to the beautiful image of the town outside its doors. This layered history is also present in the town's places of worship. The main parish church, dedicated to the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, is a palimpsest of architectural styles. Its foundations are Romanesque, its choir is Gothic, and its main body was rebuilt in the Baroque style after being damaged in the 30 Years' War. It is a building that has adapted and evolved with the town, its different styles, a quiet testament to the centuries of faith that have been practiced within its walls. A short walk from the main church lies another, more poignant testament to a different aspect of Bergheim's past, the Old Synagogue. Built in 1863, this handsome stone building is a reminder of the once thriving Jewish community that existed in Bergheim for centuries. Like many Alsatian towns, Bergheim had a significant Jewish population that contributed to its commercial and cultural life. The synagogue was the heart of this community. This vibrant presence was completely destroyed during the Second World War and the Holocaust. Today, the synagogue is no longer a place of worship, but it has been beautifully restored and serves as a cultural space for exhibitions and concerts. It stands as a silent, powerful memorial to a lost community, another essential, if somber, part of the town's complete story. Just outside the town walls lies another site of memory, the German military cemetery from the First World War. Here, in neat, orderly rows under the shade of tall trees, lie the graves of over 5,000 German soldiers who fell in the fierce fighting that took place in this region. It is a vast, quiet, and deeply moving place, a reminder of the great conflicts between France and Germany that defined the history of Alsace in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. After confronting these layers of difficult history, it is almost a relief to turn to the enduring, life-affirming tradition that has always been the true backbone of Bergheim, the making of wine. The town is surrounded by vineyards, and its reputation for quality is ancient. Its most prized vineyard is the Grand Cru Altenberg de Bergheim. The name Altenberg means Old Hill, and it is one of the most geologically complex and celebrated terroirs in all of Alsace. The soil of the Altenberg is a unique and distinctive mixture of red, iron-rich marl and limestone. This specific terroir is perfectly suited to producing wines of great richness, complexity, and aromatic power. While it produces excellent Riesling and Pinot Gris, the Altenburg is most famous for its magnificent Gewürztraminer. The heavy clay marl soil gives the Gewürztraminer from this vineyard an opulent, almost oily texture and an intense bouquet of rose petals, lychee, and exotic spices. These are wines of immense character and longevity, a direct and delicious expression of the red earth from which they spring. The wine of the Altenburg is the town's great, creative gift to the world, a product of nature and human skill that offers a kind of redemption, a life-affirming contrast to the darker chapters of its history. In the end, one returns to the image of the Great Wall, the perfect enclosure that defines Bergheim. For centuries, this wall sealed the community off, protecting it from outside armies, but also locking it in with its own internal demons. Today, the great wooden doors of the Port Haut stand permanently open. The town has chosen to confront its complex past honestly, to remember both its golden ages and its darkest moments. It has transformed its moat into a garden and its ramparts into a place for peaceful walks. The incredible beauty of Bergheim in the 21st century is therefore a beauty made more profound, not less, by the acknowledgement of its shadows. The vibrant, life-affirming display of flowers feels more precious when one knows about the dark history of the Haxahus. The taste of the rich, complex Grand Cru wine feels like a connection to a deeper, more enduring truth. Bergheim has learned to balance the light and the dark, to be both a fortress of history and a garden of beauty. Its perfect ancient enclosure now holds not a closed world of fear, but an open, honest, and deeply captivating world of memory, resilience, and extraordinary charm.